All right. So just a reminder, I tend to go a little bit slower when we first start, just for the latecomers, the people who may have trouble logging in or whatnot. And I mainly do that just by doing a review of what we just talked about. So on Wednesday, if you're in Samoa, Australia, or New Zealand, we talked about pronunciation. We started off, everything. If you see it on your screen or on paper, sound everything out, and that includes the taofi, the fa taofi, which are these little marks right here. You know, you have to observe those, and those taofis, they stop a vowel or it abruptly starts a vowel. Okay, so even in this word right here, fa'a taofi, fa'a moi moi, fa'a fetai, so it stops or starts a vowel. So we have to make sure we observe them, or it could change the word entirely. And we had some examples of that on day one. Fatma mafa. Fatma mafa is that, for example, if we say oops, let me get a different color. If we say tama, right, that's boy. If we say tama, that's father. So it's very important that we observe that the Fatma Mafa right there. So, and the Fatma Mafa is really just to emphasize that vowel. So it's only going to be over a vowel. You won't see a Fatma Mafa over a T or a S or something like that. So instead of it's going to be Instead of it's going to be e. E it's just going to elongate it out. And like I said, it could change the word entirely. All right. And then when you have vowel combinations, we went through a bunch of different kind of vowel combinations, and they tend to slur together and make a new sound. All right. So that was the gist of pronunciation. Um, Nouns are subjects. So people, places, things, and ideas. We learned that in grammar school, elementary school, and that's what we're on right now. And what we're doing is we're learning everything phrase by phrase until by the end of week 4, we should be able, hopefully, to put together whole sentences in Samoan. But right now we're just starting with the subject phrase, which are nouns. Okay. So again, nouns or subjects are people, places, things, and ideas. And then this one right here says nouns are the object of the subject phrase or location phrase. So the way that we're learning things is going to be like this. So it's and we don't do this in English, so that's why I'm pointing it out right here. We have a tense marker. Okay, so that's letting you know whether the sentence is in the future, the past, or the present. Okay. Then we have our action, which is a verb like run, sit, talk, walk, and so forth. Somebody said something. Okay. Uh, so our actions are verbs, and then we are on this one right here, the subject. So we're learning how to put together a subject phrase. So each one of these are different phrases. So tense and the action kind of go together. All right. And then we have our subject phrase. Then we have our location phrase, like where the action is happening. Okay. And then when is it happening? So that's our time. All right. So this is a common way that Samoans speak, and it throws a lot of English speakers off, including myself. This is why I couldn't learn it for 30 years. I couldn't get it because things were kind of flipped around. Another way you'll hear it is tense, and then the subject, and then the action phrase, the location phrase, and then the time phrase. And we'll worry about this. I just want to just throw this out there right now, just so you guys could kind of get a picture of how we're learning it. So everything is one phrase at a time. Tense into action, which is where we're going to go into next week. We might get into it a little bit today. But right now we're just on the subject phrase, All right. Samoan subject phrases present nouns. So present nouns and subjects. So anything that you see that's a person, place, thing, or idea, we say ole. In this example, we say tama. So ole tama. There's a boy right there. So we say ole tama. Okay, so that's the boy. If there's multiple boys, then we say otama. We don't have the limiter, and we'll talk about limiters. We talked about it on Tuesday, but if we take the limiter away, like there's no limits, so now it's plural. Remember, we don't say yeah, the tamas, and I know we grow up saying that, especially in America, like because we don't really know how to speak Samoan. So we just add a S. That's not a real thing. That's not we don't add S's to make it plural. That's something that we made up between English speakers and Samoan. So to make something plural, we just drop the limiter. So here's our limiter right here. It's le. So that's like, that means the, okay? So the boy. But if we wanted to say the boys, we just drop the limiter and just say otama. So the boys, okay? If we, here's a different kind of limiter. This, lene means this. So this boy, or lene tama, or lena tama, that boy, okay? So this is the structure of our subject phrase. Oh yeah, I have a whole slide on that, so I won't go too much into that. Every subject is identified in subject phrase format. So when you're just identifying stuff, and this is a good exercise to do when you have your list of definitions, or just anything, ole pui pui, like the wall, anything that you see, ole ole ingu, the drink, anything that you see, put it in Samoan subject phrase format, instead of just saying tama, because technically that kind of means like boys, but if you put it in subject phrase format, then you know that there's a difference between oletama, the boy, and otama, okay, the boys. There's a big difference there, okay, and if you just get used to doing that, then this part of it is going to be much easier for you, okay. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to stop me. Subject phrase. So let's identify, this is all in English, so we're just going to identify the main subject, because this is what we're working on in Samoan right now. We just want to be able to identify the main subject. So in this sentence right here, the man went to the store yesterday. So the main subject would be what? And you can just blurt it out. It doesn't I think you guys are
The man.
the man, okay, yep.
The man.
The man. The mother, yep, the mother is the main one in this one. And then what about this one?
The boy and the girl.
The boy and the girl, exactly. That went way faster than I thought. Awesome. So and so now all we got to do is just put them in Samoan phrase format. And this is the part that we're working on. Okay. All of these, we're going to put them in Samoan phrase format. So since we went so fast, how would we say the man in Samoan? The singular specific man.
Ole tamaloa.
Ole tamaloa, ole tamaloa. So tamaloa is man. So that's our noun or our subject. And we it's the man, okay, the singular specific man. And then whenever we identify anything in Samoan, and we're not saying the tamaloa has an action, we're not saying he's at a place or anything, we're just identifying it. When we identify something in Samoan, the proper way to do it is add o and then le tamaloa. Excellent. Okay, how about this one? The mother. The mother. How would we say the mother?
Latina.
Oh, I heard. I think I heard Tina. It's okay. So, oops.
Ole tina.
Ole Tina. Yep. Thank you. Ole Tina. And I don't know how to do the Fatma Mafa over the A, but yeah, we would need the line over the A. So the mother. That's it. The mother. Okay. But when we put it all together in in the sentence, we would drop the O, and we're going to talk about why we would drop the O probably today, but if not today, definitely next week. Right now, we just need to get this part down, the subject phrase down. All right. So the boy and the girl, we haven't talked about how to connect one subject phrase to the other, but if anyone wants, you can just blurt it out. Otherwise, we do have a whole slide on how to make the boy and the girl connect. So let's do it like this. How would we say just by itself? Okay.
Oletama maletene.
Oletama, oops. Oletama maletene. or olekama malekenge. If you want to do, remember we also talked about the K style. So if you do the K style, do it all the way through. So if you say oletama maletene, I mean, if you say oletama, then say oletene, or I mean, it's not going to be wrong. Maybe it is. I don't know. But somebody might get on you for that. If you say oletama malekenge, just say, if you start with a T, go all the way through with your T's. If you say olekama, then if you're going to say the girl part, then you say olekenge. So olekama malekenge or oletama maletene. Just be consistent with your T's and K's, or you will get called out for that. All right. So great job. We're gonna get into this even further. So let's all right. So I talked about the different type of the way that we would say things. So the first way that we're gonna talk about is the most common one that I hear. Maybe I would say 70 to 85% of the time is tense action. Okay, so tense action. We're not talking about that today, so don't be nervous about it. Then our subject. So our subject is coming after our action. Okay, and then location and time. For example, if that doesn't make sense, instead of the man went to the store yesterday, the way we would say it in Samoan, but I'm going to use English words, is we would say went the man to the store yesterday. Okay, so when we're talking about tense and action, they go together. So it's a past tense go, so went. Okay. Is the Bible written? Yes, almost all the way through it. That's why I say maybe 60, 70, 80%, but most of it is written this way: tense, action, subject, location, or tense and then the subject. I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that. But yeah, most of the Tusipaia, the Bible is written this way. So it's really good to know this format. Okay. And then also tense and then the subject. But then I'll leave that right there so I don't confuse anyone. Okay, so the mother is asking her son now. So instead of, more than likely, even in the Tusipaia, the Bible, Samoan translated Bible, we would probably say is asking the mother, or Letina, and then her son now. So to me, this is where I got hung up. Even though I knew so many words I grew up in Samoan households, all over the world actually, because we moved around so much, and I always moved to Samoan speaking houses, but I could never pick it up because I'm listening for this. The mother is asking her son now. The man went to the store yesterday. That's what I'm listening for when I'm trying to translate in my head as a English first, Samoan second kind of speaker and with my comprehension. But actually, this is usually how it's being said, is asking the mother, what it kind of would be like, to her son now. So the ask is going to her son now. Or instead of the man went to the store yesterday, it would be went the man to the store yesterday. And even like grandma, when grandma talks, well, she's not here anymore, but when she used to, when she was alive, she would say things like this: yeah, went the man to the store yesterday. But she's speaking it in Samoan phrase format. So hopefully that's not confusing. But what we're doing is just putting things in tense, action, subject, location, time format. So on this last one, how would you, and you guys can just say this part out. How would we say this one?
Played the boy and the girl.
Played the boy and girl
Yes, exactly. Played. So we're starting
at
with
the
our action,
park
our tense
today.
and our action. Exactly. So that the action is play, and then the tense of that action is the past tense. So past tense play or played, and then our subject, which is what we're focusing on right now, is going to be the boy and the girl. Okay, and then the location is going to be, at the park, and then our time is today. Okay, so after week 4, hopefully we'll be able to translate all of this in Samoan, just, and just go right through, and it wouldn't be a problem. So that's the goal after week 4, is just to be able to go through each one of these phrase formats and translate it. Okay, so next slide. How do I? Again, if you have any questions, feel free to stop me. One more, just to break it down even more, or to show it out. The subject phrase identifies a subject. So we have our O. The O can mean it. It can mean it is, if we're talking about singular things. It can mean it's. It can mean they are, if we're talking about plural stuff. Okay. There's so many limiters, and we're going to talk about limiters today, things that limit the noun. So if it's a plural thing, we don't put an S. Again, we don't put an S in someone. We adjust the plurality, or whether something is plural or not, by this one, this thing that comes right after the O. So O, and then it could be le or the, se, ni, or any of these, la'u, lo'u. And we have slides on all of these as well for today, so I won't get into all of that right now. And then after our limiter comes the main thing that we're talking about, the noun. What it could be a common noun, like light, computer, boy, girl, father, daughter, the common nouns. Okay, bird, sky. Proper nouns, it could be United Nations, and any, St. Louis, Los Angeles, Carson, whatever, proper noun. Pronouns like him, her, me, or I, or it could be a name. Guillermo. Let me open this up so I can see something. Joanna, Ty, Tony. It could be, names. So that's what that, and then the adjective. Now in the Samoan language, the adjective, some people speak Spanish in here as well, I'm pretty sure. The adjective, just like in Spanish, is going to come after, and this throws a lot of English speakers off. Okay, so and we have examples of that as well, so I'll just leave it right there. So this is the bare bones of a subject phrase. The O. Okay, when you identify something, you're going to say O, and then if it requires a limiter, it's going to be like one of these or one of the many other ones that we're going to talk about today. Then your main noun, and then how you describe that noun. All right. Now here are some limiters. The main ones, le is a singular specific thing. So if I say, we'll use one main noun. So we'll just say fale. Everybody knows about fale. Well, not everybody, but fale equals to a house. All right. So if I say ole fale, then we're saying the house, the singular specific house. So in my neighborhood, I think there's probably about 20 houses. So if we're talking about my house at my address, the singular specific house, then I would say ole fale at this particular address. Okay. If there's no limiter, if we took the limiter away, okay, ofale. Okay, so that would be like coming into the neighborhood, and then there's a group of houses. It's a specific group of houses, but it's multiple. You see how we didn't put a ofales? We didn't do like that because there's no such thing. No S. So all I did was I took away the limiter, and then now it's ofale, and we're talking about houses. We could say it's the houses, or houses, however we want to translate it into English, but we're talking about multiple and specific set of houses in this neighborhood, just one house. I wish I had a picture. Next time I'll make sure I have pictures, but so we're talking about multiple houses. All right. If I say ocefale, so I'm talking about a house. Maybe it's if I just say something like, yeah, they have a house. Ella se fale, like, a house. A house. So I probably shouldn't use that example because we're not there. But so if I just say a house, I'm gonna say o se fale. So I'm not talking about a house in particular, just one in the neighborhood. Go and get a house out of the, pick one. I got you. I'll buy it for you. O se fale. So o se fale. So it's a singular house, non-specific. Okay. If I wanted to say some houses, oni fale. Some houses. Some houses. And if you want to translate it all the way out, it is some houses. Okay. And then isi, this word right there means other. So you could add like le in front of it or se. So if we say se isi, it's like os or se isi fale, then that's like another house. It is another house. Let me write that out. So if we say o se isi fale, so it's like, and I put, because all the time we don't really translate that. It is, it's, and then another house. And all we're doing is we're combining either le or se. So if we were to say o le isi fale, it's the other house. It's the other house. The other house. Okay. So this tends to confuse people. But as long as you get le, se, or if you just were to take away that limiter all by itself, I'm sorry, both of these. If we say ofale, and as long as you know that means the houses, or it's the houses, then you're doing great. Okay. So these are the main ones. If you got those, and then just know that EC means other. Okay. Then we get down to singular possessive. And we can break all of these things down. It's amazing how the Samoan language is so specific, even with just packing so much meaning in 3 letters or 4 letters right here. When I say 4, I'm including the fa'ataufi or the taufi. Okay. So if I wanted to say o lo ufale, o lo ufale, then this is going to be my house. My house. So some people say, well, why wouldn't it be o la ufale? Then that's only because there's more there's the A class possessions and there's O class possessions. All right, don't get so worried about that right now. Just know that lo'u and la'u means mine. Okay, but when we're talking about houses, a house is an O class possession. Okay, so o lo'u fale, my house. Okay, if we were to say o lo fale, then this is going to be your house. We're just talking about different limiters right now. Okay, different ways to limit our noun. All right, and our main noun is fale, or house. And then if we say his, her, or its house, it could be a man, a woman, or a dog house. If we were to say olona fale, then it's gonna be either her, his, or if we're talking about a pet or something like that, it's house. All right. So again, we're just talking about different ways to limit our noun. Okay. I think. Okay. Can ni and isi be used? Yes, nisi. So some other, exactly. So Malia asked, can ni and isi be used together? And that's yes, it can. I didn't want to confuse anybody. But I like the way that you phrase that question. If you put ni and isi together, if you put le and isi together, if you put se and isi together, they all mean different things. But if you put together the way that Malia said, in the chat, if you put ni and isi together, like nisi fale, we're talking about some other houses, or nisi fale. All right. And so let me go to our oops. Where is it at? Okay, so I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it into the chat. And this is just a worksheet out of the workbook that I have out, and it's on possessive limiters. Okay, so it just tells you about wait, I don't think you guys can see it. Here we go. So like my, lau, and lo'u. Okay, yours, lao, lo. We go down here to dual pronouns. Okay, so leta, lema, lelua. So these are just things, if you just wanted to go over them for right now, we have a whole lesson, or at least like a half hour, that we're going to talk about each and every one of these. For now, I'm just throwing them out there just so that you can one, have the worksheet, and then also if you just wanted to do like, not extra credit, but just a way to do some exercises. It's like ola'u ta'avale. La'u means my, ta'avale is car, so my car. Okay, if I wanted to say my cars, okay, I just dropped the L, and the worksheet explains why this means cars. Notice we didn't say ta'avales, like I grew up saying. We just dropped the L to make it o ta'avale, my cars. Okay. And then here's also some exercises here that you can do. And there's the answer key. All right. See some questions in the chat. Is it printable? It should be printable. So yeah, if you pull it up, just hit Control P, and then it should come right up. Is it possible to distinguish between my house and my houses? Oh yeah. Yeah. So the difference between, okay, yeah, you said I answered it. So yeah, the answer is on this worksheet, but we do have a whole day just talking about this, maybe in like week 3 or 4. So but yeah, just download the worksheet for now. And if you have any questions on it, on Sunday, I'm gonna log in. If you guys want to go over the worksheet, we can do it. But if not, week 4, we're gonna do it anyway. So 4 or 5, we'll do it. Okay, so let me go back to. All right, so these are plural limiters. So this is where a lot of people will get so confused. So if I were to say ma is it means us two. Okay. If I say ma to, that's gonna be us 3 or more people. So if I were to say something like and I won't do that many of them because again we have a whole lesson on it. Sorry. Oh no worries. Pasha Fua. Okay, so if I were to say olema, so that's our limiter, lema. So this is a singular thing, so le, and then us two. This means we or us. But when we say, if we put a limiter in front, it means our two. And then if I say fale, then this means our house. And it belongs to 2 people. Okay. So if we were to say ole mato fale, then that implies 3 or more people. Okay. Well, here. If I say ole mato fale, okay. So this is it's still our house, but this is gonna be 3 or more people. This one up here is 2 people. All right. So I won't get too much into this right now because again, we have a whole lesson on it. I just want to let you know that these are limiters. All of these are limiters right here that limit the noun. As long as for all you need to know today is do not put an S after. Don't say our fales. You know, don't say stuff like that. Our tavales, just don't say that. The limiters, these words right here in the front, limits our noun. Okay. If we get into all of this right now, I think it's gonna be confusing. So because we do none of this stuff in English. So we're just gonna leave that right there as it is. Here's another kind of limiter. This, that, these, and those. And this is one way to say them. Because we can also phrase this another way. And I'll do one. But for this, if we want to say o lene fale. So we have our O, we know about that. We're just identifying our main noun, fale. But if we wanted to be more specific and we want to say this house, we say olene fale, this house. This house. If we want to say that house, we're going to identify that one. We're going to say olena fale, that house. If we say these houses, okay, one fale, these houses. If we want to say those houses, ona fale, okay. And we'll have another lesson on how to reword this, because we could also say ole fale lene or ole fale lea. I'll just do this one since we could say ole fale lene. Okay, and so if you see here, we have our O, we know about that. We have le, we have fale, which is our main noun, and then we have lene in the back. Okay, does anyone know why we would say ole fale lene instead of just moving it to and say o fale ne? I'm sorry, o fale o fale lene.
It's a single.
Right,
Supposed
it's
to
a
be a
singular. Yes, it's a
The
singular
subject and the
fale.
adjective.
Right.
Is it the sea salt? The
Well, no, it doesn't go that far. But the main thing is, okay, so we have olene fale. So it's a singular house. It's this singular house,
right.
right? But when we take the lene and put it in back and make it like an adjective, which we're gonna get into in the next slide. If we were to just take it and put it in back, like how you read it right here, now this becomes a plural. But we're not talking about plural. We're still talking about this house. So ofale by itself is what? That's the houses. It's plural. And then we have lene. We still need to make this singular. So olefale lene. So now we have a singular house, and then we're talking about this. So the house, this. So singular house and this. All right. So even though we take that singular lene and put it in the back, if we were to just say ofale lene, it's kind of like, there's a disagreement there because we have plural houses, multiple houses of this, but to make it, we need to keep it all kind of like a math problem. So we have a singular house and we have a singular this. Okay. Olefale ne. Yeah, olene fale. Yep. And then right, I think we answered it. If not, just let me know. Just write it again. Which one is more correct? There's neither one is more correct if we're talking about olefale lene, or olene fale. Either one, you could say either one as long as they are. So we could say
One's just
olene.
singular, right? While the others are plural.
Right. Well, both of these that I've written here, these are both singular. The way that it's
Right.
written. Yeah.
And
So
then if
you could
use
say,
name.
yeah, you
I'm
could say them
sorry.
either way. Oh no, yeah, you could say these either way. It doesn't matter. It's just a different way of saying it. But whenever you start saying like, if you go down here and we say onge fale, then we're saying these houses. or fale. So yeah, so all these we can do that with. We can just take that nay or ngay and just put it behind it. So we're talking about these houses. Sometimes I hear people when they say that might be confusing if I say that. So for that, yeah, I probably should just be consistent with it. Because and maybe you guys have heard it too, but sometimes when they switch it like that, they're talking about like sometimes they're making it singular, but the nay is or ngay is going to be these, so it's plural houses, so these houses, either way. So you can do that with this because it's plural in the front and it's plural in the back. But when we're talking about like ole fale le nay, I'm sorry, ole nay fale, whenever we take that lene and put it behind it, we still need to make sure that it's singular in the front. But when we say o ne fale, you can take that ne and put it in the front or in the back. It's going to be the same. The na, you can like those o na fale o fale nga. You know, there is a way to make it more to change the context of it. But for right now, just for today, so I don't confuse anybody, just know that the ne or the na can go in the front or the back. But lene or lena, if you're gonna take it and put it behind, you have to still make sure that that noun is singular. Okay, making sure I didn't confuse anybody with that. Okay, if you have questions, again, just let me know. Send me an email or show up on Sunday. We can do all of it. So let's do this exercise. Last time we broke up into groups, but since there's more people now, we'll just do this all together. So for Ma'i is a doctor. So here's our doctor. Tausi Ma'i is gonna be nurse. So we're gonna assume all of these people are nurses behind them. Okay. Faituto'a is door. Okay, Faituto'a. Fa'malama is window. All right. So if we're just identifying subjects, there's no action to it or anything like that. Let's just write these things out. So if we were to say like who's this guy right here? Oops, let me get a different color. Who's that guy right there? If I you know, Wailea. Yep, Fomai. Okay, so we got okay, yeah, say that again.
Ole Fomai.
Ole Fomai. Awesome. Awesome. Ole Fomai. So we have the O, remember, and when we translate it to English, we don't even say it for real. So it is the doctor, but normally it's just going to be the doctor. Okay, the doctor. It is the doctor, the doctor. All right, so great. If we were to say, who is this one? Just that one right there. How would we say that in Samoan?
Ole Tausimai.
Yep, ole tau si mai. Ole tau si mai. So this is the nurse. Okay, the nurse. All right. Now if we wanted to just say like it is a nurse, how would we say that?
Ose Tausimai.
Yep, ose tau si mai. Yep, ose. So a nurse or it's a nurse. Awesome. Now if we wanted to say if we wanted to identify everyone except for the doctor. If we like who are these people right here? All of them behind him. How would we phrase that?
O Tausimai.
Yep,
No.
that's it.
Oh, yeah, there we go. We take the
Oh, yeah.
limiter out, right?
Yeah, take the limiter out because so we're talking about a specific set of people and Tausi Mai. So we're talking about the nurses or it's the nurses, okay? We got some other words over here. What about this right here? What is that one singular thing right there? How do we say that?
Ole Fai Kokoa.
Oh, okay. I was pointing at this you're pretty much
Oh,
right, but I
window.
was,
I'm sorry.
yeah, that's
Fa'amalama.
okay. Fa malama, yep. Ole fa malama, fa malama. Okay, the window, or it is the window, the window. Awesome. So, and then if what about these two? Or put those two together. What would we say about that? These two things. Wamenga. Yep. Or
Fight to
Faitotoa. That's it. Yeah. Or Faitotoa. Either one. T style or K style. Faito. Oops. Faitotoa. The doors, or it's the doors. Awesome. So do that with everything, everything you see, because all we're doing right now, again, there's no action to it. All we're doing is we're identifying stuff in Samoan, and we don't do this in English. So when you identify it, you put an O to it. If there's a limiter, then you use it, use the correct limiter, and then you identify it with the noun. All right. Then after the noun, if we wanted to add more description, we would go after the noun. So that's going to be our adjectives. So just like some people speak Spanish, like what's the word for not gang, I was gonna say gangue bonita. Well, whatever. What's the word? Say
Señorita.
señorita. Okay, yeah, señorita bonita. I know I mangled the pronunciation. I think there's another word for, but either way, they use their
Bonita.
adjectives. Well, say again.
Ella bonita. She's pretty.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, that would be a little bit different. What's the word for girl? If we were to say girl or woman,
Niña. Niña.
Niña.
niña bonita. Okay. So the main point of that is just like in Spanish, is that our adjectives are going to come after. So we describe the main noun or the main subject after the main noun. So we put our adjectives afterwards. So we know about the O, we know about our limiters, se, ni, isi, lene, lena, and all of that. And then our main noun, whatever the main noun is going to be, and then we describe it afterwards. Okay. For example, oleaso matango fie, oleaso, the day. It is the day or the day. And then matango fie can be translated as beautiful or magnificent. Okay. So, but when we translate it, it's the beautiful day. Okay. But if we were to read it over here, it o, le, and then aso is day. So the day, beautiful. That throws some people off. It threw me off because I didn't realize, okay, we say the word afterwards. There's a popular song from, older than probably everybody in the class, is Ositene Manaya. Tene Manaya means pretty girl, or it could be nice girl or whatever. But the point is the adjective comes after the main noun. So the main noun is tene. How do we describe tene? We say manaya or mangaya. So a nice girl, a pretty girl. Tene manaya means pretty girl. So the adjectives come after the main noun. And then here's just some different ones. Matango fie. Matango fie means beautiful, magnificent. Manaya or mangaya is nice or pretty, depending on the context. Fo is new. Auleanga is ugly. Aulele is pretty or beautiful. Lene. Oh, and then remember, so in those examples where we took Lene and Lena and put it in the back, or afterwards, so we can describe it. We can use it as a limiter, or it could also be adjective. Okay. So Lene, Lena, Tuwai is like late or old. Malosi is strong. Poto is smart. Sese is wrong or incorrect. La Poa is big. Laikiki or Laititi, small. Valea is unintelligent or stupid. Fia is happy or to like. And then Fa'anonoa. Fa'anonoa is sad. Okay, so these are just some. There's actually, let me go to there is a adjective worksheet with a whole bunch of them. I'm gonna put those in the chat right now. These are some more, just practice, learn them. Meeting group chat. Okay, so I just put those in the chat, and you should hopefully you should be able to download these. And these are just, again, these words come right after your main noun. And I don't know if you
William, I
guys,
have a question. So sorry.
sure.
Um, Earlier you had the plural limiters. What
Okay,
is le lua and le cho, or
okay,
lua and cho?
okay. So yeah, let's go up here. Um, okay, so le lua. Okay, so lua is like it means like you too, you too. Okay, and then and when we're just talking about pronouns, and so that's we do have a whole lesson on pronouns. So lua means you too. To means you all, like it's three or more people. Okay, but when we're talking about a limiter, so if I were to say like what we use house. So if I say ole lua fale, okay, so if you too is lua as you know the pronoun, when we put a le in front of it and it becomes a possessive pronoun, then it means like your house. So it's but it belongs that belongs to you too. Okay, so it's a singular house, le lua fale. So it's a house, a singular house that belongs to two people. And then if we say oleto, if we say let me just go down here. Oleto. So this is like y'all's house, like more than two people. Okay, oleto fale or oleoto fale. You might hear people say oto. Then this is gonna be like it's still your, but we're talking about more than oops. We're talking about three or more people. This one right here is two people. So they're called like dual possessive pronouns, and this is plural pronouns, like three or more. We don't do this in English, so it throws people off. But again, when we get to pronouns, we're don't feel bad if you don't get it right now. But this is did I answer the question first of all?
Yeah, you did. Okay. I thought it was a number, but I wasn't sure. Okay, so it's like saying like that's both your house and then
Right, exactly.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it is a number as well, like tasi lua
Lu-
tolu fale.
Right.
Yeah. But when we're talking about limiters or possessive pronouns or pronouns period, then yeah, lua is just another expression or a way to say your two, or if we're counting tasi lua kolu or kasi lua kolu, it would be a number. So
Thank you.
okay. All right, so got about 12 minutes. Okay, so again, so the adjectives are almost always. I say almost because not every time. There are some exceptions. We won't get into that today. So if we were to say oletene poto, poto means smart. So what we're saying is the smart girl. Okay, I think everyone probably has this by now. So we have the o and then the and then girl and then smart. So the smart girl, oletene poto. Fayaonga is teacher. Fayaonga is teacher, and then Lele is good. So if we want to say a good teacher or it is a good teacher, we just say Ose Fayaonga Lele. All right. So the descriptive word comes after. I think I saw something. Lo'ua or la'ua. Okay. So yeah. So not lo'ua. And okay. So James, when you're talking about la'ua, that's gonna be okay. So that would be more so for pronouns. So I'll table that for right now. If I can go into it later, but it's kind of it would be off of because there is a ila but that's something different. So if I've titled off, yeah, I don't want to confuse anybody. But yeah, there is a ila but it's something different. All right, so let's do. I guess we might be able to finish off with this, and then we can get into. Oh no, We'll do this together real fast because I do want to do this next slide. So how will we say the beautiful sun? The beautiful sun. And here's our answer key over there. We'll do all this stuff together. The beautiful sun.
Olela machangofi.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So we have our O. That's how we start out when we're just identifying stuff. And then we have a singular sun. Olela. So la is sun, as you can see over here in the answer key. And then the way that we describe it is matangofie. Matangofie. And there's other ways that we can express like the beautiful sun, but you know, we'll stick with this for now. His angry dog. How do we say that?
Olana maile itza.
Olana Maile. And then what was the last one? Itza. Yep. Olana Maile Itza. So it's we're saying his, okay, because lana is gonna be his, her, or its. Okay, so that's our limiter. And then our main noun or subject is gonna be maile or dog. And then how do we describe the dog? Is Itza. Itza is angry. Awesome. How we say her Samoan spouse?
Olana Tolua Samoa.
Olana To'alua. Yep, To'alua Samoa. Awesome. So we have our O. Okay, Lana is our limiter. So we're limiting the To'alua or the spouse to her spouse. Her spouse. You might even hear people say Olona. People use To'alua as an A class or O class, and we'll talk about A class or O class later on. It's not a worry right now. So a lot of people say it like this: Olana To'alua, which is the spouse. And how do we describe the spouse? Samoa. So To'alua Samoa is the Samoan spouse. So Olana To'alua Samoa. All right, awesome. My easy class. How do we say that?
Lova singa faingofie.
Oh, okay. And then what was this? What comes after the O?
Olo singa
Olo
faingofie.
Vasenga Faingofie. Awesome. Okay, so we have my, and then class Vaseng. Oh, I spelled Vasenga. Oh, you guys know what I'm saying. Okay, Olo Vasenga Faingofie. So we have my class easy. When we translate it, it's going to be my easy class. Okay. This is another one of those you might hear like that, Ola'u, but again, we'll talk about that later. And then the last one is a happy baby. How would we translate that?
Osefefefia.
Yep, Osepepefefia. So we're not talking about the baby or his baby or her baby. We're talking about a baby. We don't know. It's just, you know, it's a baby. I don't know who baby that is. Osepepe, a baby, and then our description word comes after it. So Osepepe Fiafia. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so the last slide I think we're gonna do today. Oh no, I'm gonna try to do two more. So whenever one noun phrase equals another noun phrase, all we're doing, we just connect them with the O. For example, when we say Olo'uingo o Viliamu, or so Olo'uingo. So it is my name, right? So, and then Sammy. So it is my name, Sammy, Sammy. So all we did was we just connect them together. This noun phrase, Olo'uingoa, and then oops, there we go. Sammy. So we just put them together. Olo'uingo Sammy, Olo'uingo o Viliamu, Olo'uingo o Viliamu, Olo'uingo o Joanna. We just put them together. So that's how you make one thing equal another. Oa'u. A'u is a pronoun. So I, and then we just connect it with Ose Tangata Aonga. So Tangata Aonga together is student. So I am a student. All right. we're gonna connect these two. Oleingu. So the drink, or it is the drink, and then vai, we're talking about vai is water. Okay, so the drink is water. We have two right here. We have oletene lena, so that girl, and then we have osetene aulele, so is a pretty girl. Aulele, so that girl's a pretty girl. So that's another exercise that you can do is just you know, if you write a list of a bunch of different subject phrases, connect them together with the O. That's it. It's as simple as that in Samoan language. Okay. Let me go a little bit faster. We already talked about this one. So where we connect one subject phrase to another with the word ma. So if I say oletama maletene masemaile. So each one of these we have, it is the boy, you know, the boy and the girl and a dog. Masemaile and a dog. If I say oseuso malona tuafafine. Okay, so it's the brother and his sister and his mom. Okay. And we'll talk about uso because uso can also be girl as well, or woman or lady. But that would have to be like you know, that would be something else. I would take too much time talking about that. But uso is also for women as well. A lot of people have that misconception. It's only for guys.
Is that when like a woman is talking to a woman and then a man is talking to a man? It's not, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So when women are talking about another woman, about another woman. So if I were to say like my sister, let's say I'm a girl and I'm talking about my sister, then I would refer to her as Olo Uso because she's my sister. I wouldn't say you know, well, I wouldn't necessarily have to say Olo Tu Fafine. I would say it as a man or as a boy. I would say you know, Olo Tu Fafine, like my sister. But woman to woman, uso. Man to man or boy to boy, uso. Okay, but we'll go over that part. And then this one right here is the same as the others. It's just we're just adding our adjective after. So olau ta'avale, so my car, and then sama is yellow. So olau ta'avale sama, and then we're connected with the ma lana ta'avale lanu moana. So and her blue car, and then another ma. So we're just connect another one with the and. Now skateboard, your skateboard. I don't know how to say skateboard, so I just wrote that on there. So ola ta'vale sama malana ta'vale lanu moana malau skateboard. Okay. And then the last one is epe. Epe is like, you'll hear this in a lot of songs, poems and stuff like that. And it's like, it literally means it, you know, it is like, or it's similar to. So if I say oletama, so the boy, epe osetoyaina. So the boy is like, and then osetoyaina, an old man. Okay, toyaina is like a elder, a guy, old man. Or olela epe olofofonga. So olela is going to be the sun, like we talked about, and then epe is like, and then we just add our other subject phrase, olofofonga, like your face. The sun is like your face. Okay, and then oleawala, awala can mean several different kind of things, but in this context, we're talking about a street. Epe is like, and then maunga is mountain. So, and we don't have a limiter there, so we're saying mountains, like multiple mountains. So the street is like mountains. The street is like the mountains. Okay, so that's what that one is. And we'll start by review next time, and then we'll get into our verb phrases. So sorry I kept you guys every single second. But if you have any questions, please feel free to hang around. If not, I'll see you guys on, if not Sunday for like tutorial or whatever, I'll see you guys on Tuesday. So fast forward.
Fa.